Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fnatic Origins, a chance to go behind the scenes a little bit and check out the players of Fnatic Raycall's new North American team. So I have here with me Smurf, the carry player of this new team. How's it going, man?
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good myself, so gonna jump right on into the interview, I suppose. So Smurf is a very interesting name, at least in my mind. Is that based on the TV series, or how'd you come up with that? Any interesting story?
Man, when I was like 13, I used to play Warcraft 3 ladder, and I was awful. And I had this really terrible name, and I joined this clan, and it was like a 42% win rate account. And the guy said if I made it to a 46%, he'll give me his Smurf account, which was like an 80% win rate. And I mean, he gave me it, and I just stuck with it the whole time, I guess.
That's funny, that's funny. Well, kind of just some basic information about you as a player, kind of your history a little bit, for the viewers that don't know at the very least. I know that you played primarily Dota 1, but how'd you get started into gaming in general? I mean, was there a certain competitive game that stood out, or what was your first experience like that?
Uh, I used to, I remember I used to play, obviously, when I was little, I played Pokemon. And then my cousin, he used to go to an internet cafe in, like, close to where we lived, and he played Counter-Strike, 1.6. And then that was like this around the same time that Source came out. So then I started playing Source, and I don't know, I fell in love with I forgot the name of the gun, man. The Counter Strike, like the most famous fucking gun that the man. I don't even know, not the counter terrorists have. And then like that gun, I don't know. I fell in love with the gun, and I just played the game like every single day, like literally every day. I played Counter Strike just to play for that gun, and then like the LAN cafe closed down, and then I was like, what do I do now? and, then, and then like maybe like a couple months later, my mom found an internet cafe around my house, and then like I played Counter Strike there. I was awful, of course, and then I don't know. One day they were playing a Warcraft 3 ladder, and then that's when I like jumped into Warcraft 3, and I fell in love with that game for like all the reasons. That game was just awesome.
Cool, cool. So you started off with the role RTS part of it, the real time strategy aspect of Warcraft 3 ladder, and then you kind of transitioned in, just checked out the custom games, a lot of different things like that. Now, when you first started in Dota in general, like, did you feel it was just another in the long list of custom games that were kind of cool and kind of neat, or did it kind of stand out as something that you really were interested in and wanted to check out?
No, I thought it was just something to play for fun, because my favorite thing was ladder, like building a base and all that stuff, like fighting, like the stuff like Age of Empires and stuff like that. That was all my kind of thing. I didn't really like stick to a game because I liked it too much. And I mean, I played ladder for a really long time. I got pretty decent at it. I got like all my accounts were like really good and stuff, and I played for Good Game Losers, GGL, back in ladder, and that was like big boy clan supposedly. And but then like I don't know, I started playing Dota after like the scene started dying in ladder, like StarCraft came out and all that, and then people just started leaving and I had no one to play with. And then I met like Painted Gold and like other players, Damon, Steve, Charms. I met all them, and they were all in IHL, and I kind of like just jumped in from there. Like I started loving the game. I started playing TDA, was a big thing. And I met Bulbasaur when he was bad.
Cool.
He was
Really?
really bad. Yeah, he was awful. And then he was awful, just like me. And
Sure
then
enough.
he got a lot better, though, obviously.
Gotcha. Everybody starts somewhere, so even the complete absolute pros. I'm sure Dendy had his first game and was feeding like crazy or something. So everybody has those phases in their gaming career there. But obviously you're progressed from there. You're now in the Dota 2 scene, and now you've been sponsored by Fnatic, and that's really awesome for your team. I mean, I know you're doing really well with Josh Tayback Dota, so they definitely made a good decision with that specifically. But when you first heard about possibly getting sponsored, and then when you first were actually told that you were fully officially sponsored by Fnatic, how did you feel? Like, was that a dream come true for you, or?
I mean, we were playing like the team formed awkwardly. Like I had a team, and then I was like gonna quit Dota or whatever. And then my team, the one I was currently on, which was called Hallyu, we we stomped this team like with Rolo and Whitebeard. They had a little like mix together, and we stomped them like in 5 minutes or something. And I thought they were awful, but then and then my team ended up dying. And Rolo, I knew him from back from Dota 1. His name was Slurms, and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
played a lot of Dota together. And he told me like, hey, do you want to play? And then I was about to quit. I mean, that same day he talked to me, I was about to just erase the game and just
Really?
go on with life, go to college and all that crap. And And then I don't know, man. I play with them, and it was like super fun. Like it was the most fun I had playing Dota for like forever since I started playing like TDA, like I told you back in the day.
Hmm.
And man, I had a lot of fun playing. So we made the team, and then we joined the Fnatic tourney. Unexpected victory came out of that, and then once we played that, we kind of got a hint because I think Rolo or Andre, Rolo talked to Andre, which is one of the staff at Fnatic,
Hmm.
and he always told us in our head that we were gonna get sponsored and stuff. Like we were talking to a sponsor, and I mean they were talking and stuff. We ended up getting a little Skype chat with them, and like we talked to them for a good month and a half, and then with the things that happened to PowerNet and all that, to the day that they finally said, like the day that they were like, oh, we're gonna talk to Sam Matthews, which is the CEO and all that. They were like, we're gonna have a meeting with him and make sure that everything's good. Right after the meeting, Elroy came on, which is our manager, and he's like, Sam said that you guys can't be sponsored, that we're not gonna look into a North American team. So all of us were on the Skype call, like, oh, this is awkward, but all right, I guess we're not getting sponsored.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It was. I could say it's a dream come true because I've been wanting this since I was younger. Like I told you, man, to be sponsored and play for real, for real. That's what's up.
Sure enough, sure enough. So yeah, that's really cool and kind of yeah, a little bit of a troll commentary there that you thought you didn't get in, but finally you actually are obviously sponsored now. So I'm sure that you don't regret the fact that you didn't uninstall that day. You were definitely looking into it, but moving forward.
Yes, sir.
Cool, cool. So now that you are on this team, Fnatic Raid Call North American branch specifically, you've made quite a bit of a splash in a couple of tournaments there. I would definitely mention, I was just watching a couple days ago, the Gosu Cup America. You guys actually won that first place, right?
Yes, sir. Over Root Gaming.
Hmm. Yeah, how did you feel during that one? I mean, during Root, I saw a couple of really cool jukes. Some you were playing lifesteal in one of the games. Some good rages. Some was there a lot of adrenaline going? Just happy to really get the momentum flowing and kind of try to be top dog in that matchup.
Well, that game, I know, like the whole tournament. Like if you want to say the whole tournament, I know was whoa, the whole tournament. It was like I know it was like for an American tournament, and there isn't that many like teams. Obviously, like there isn't like a big American scene like Europe. Like the Europe small tourneys got like some crazy teams that are really good. Over here, there was kind of like low skill teams, but finally when we got to like maybe like 4 matches in, there was a lot of like good teams. Like we were actually having to try like for real, because if not, any mistake was a casualty. And then, I mean, every team played good. I know in the semis, I think it was, we played against GX Slim's team, which we lost the game to them, so we got a little nervous there. We're like, uh-oh. But, and then we won in 12 minutes after we got our game face back
Nice,
on. But,
nice, nice.
I mean, we did, and then we played against Root Gaming at the end, which is obviously a notable team. I mean, they qualified for Thor, and I'm friends with all of them. I know they're good at Dota, and they played EG, and they always give EG a little rough time, so we went in there, and they got one game over us, but we took it out. We took it out.
Sure enough, sure enough. So I know you guys scrim against those kind of players all the time. Did you going on into it? Did you expect to be able to get to first place, or was that just kind of an aspiration?
Man, truthfully, when I play Dota, I never think I'm gonna lose. Like we go into the game and I'm like, team, we when we go into the game, we talk about the prize already, or we talk about what's gonna happen after we win. We never think about losing. And when we're in the game, we might get a little frustrated, like the game versus Root. I know when I was playing Lifestealer, I think it was that game. I was level 4 at 10 minutes. I had the biggest headache already because I was level 4 and I was getting so mad. But with Fluff and stuff as the stand-in, and Rolo and Derp, they keep a calm, collective mood. You know what I mean? With Tobacco always saying not to get mad, and we brought it back, which was a really nice game. I like the turnaround. I like the turnaround.
Definitely, definitely. So yeah, some big turnarounds coming on out of that one, and it's really good to have such a confidence going on into it that you don't even worry about the loss. You just push on forwards. I mean, losses do happen, and kind of have to adapt and recover when you do have to reflect on where the loss came to. But in general, the fact that you have such a positive outlook on it is really, really refreshing towards the aspect of trying to aspire for even bigger and better things. And right now, would you say your team still needs a lot of practice to improve and become a top-tier team?
Yes, sir. We need a lot more practice. Like, we play against like some good teams, and like when we're in tournaments, we notice it the most because like it's not like usually when we play tournaments, it's not like we get like completely stomped or whatever. It's like we make a mistake here. There was a mistake early game that just ruins it. So we just gotta shape it up. And I mean, we play every time we lose, we go over why we lost and stuff, and we try to not do it again. You know what I mean? Before anybody it's Matt or anybody.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, going a little bit more into the team dynamic that you have going on, is there somebody? I know I was talking to Tobacco in our previous episode of Origins. He said pretty much as far as who's ganking where, the positioning of different people, and just the movement in early game is called out just about by everybody. Kind of everybody contributes to that. Also, I've talked to Rolo quite a bit off screen, and he talked about the fact that like everybody drafts it up. That Whitebeard is the main guy to take care of that, but that everybody collaborates on that effort. Would you agree with that, or do you feel there's still one guy that's kind of wearing the pants in the as far as the captain seat?
Well, the pants are definitely worn by Whitebeard because when that guy says something, it has to be done. But I mean, like when we play and stuff, it's like in the beginning, usually the first 10 to 15 minutes are controlled now by Derp and Rolo. They're because we're like usually the tri lane and they're the two supports, and they get like they know what has to be done because they're always looking around the map. But when it comes to like big decision making, like hey, are we gonna do Roshan? What lane are we gonna push or stuff like that? That's Whitebeard calling that, and like, yeah, he wears the pants.
Sure enough. So obviously, the other four members of your team have had quite a bit of experience in the game Heroes of Newerth, which is similar to Dota in a lot of ways, but also has quite a few differences. You yourself are kind of a Dota 1 purist. You went straight from Dota 1 to Dota 2. And do you feel that kind of have the little bit elitist attitude where they're at a disadvantage by that comparison, or do you think they're pretty equal to you?
My whole team is Han trash. They're all awful. They're all four of them are awful. But I love them. I played. I know I played like I played like maybe 2 days when Dota went down. I played with them a couple Han games, and I played with Krista, and we played Han, and I was awful. But it was like fun because it's like something different from Dota. I mean, like it's just like a little fun game, but it'll never compare to Dota in my eyes, of course.
Sure enough, sure enough. So you played Dota 1 for quite a long time, like 7 or 8 years, you said?
Yes, sir. Since I was like 12 years old, man. 12 years old.
Is there a specific, obviously a lot of patches have come and gone, a lot of metagames shifting around, so would you say there's a specific build, a specific meta game that you prefer? Do you like the 4 Protect 1 hour-long games, or ZSMJ farms like 600 creep kills or something like that? I mean, do you want that kind of action where it's all on the carrier's shoulders to get big items, or do you kind of like the fast-paced gank activity that's been more recent?
Yeah, I don't mind farming all game because I like farming. I just like killing stuff. I like killing creeps, so I kind of like killing heroes if it comes around. But I mean, when we play, like I feel like the funner metagame is when there's like 4 heroes, 5 heroes always running around getting kills. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But like the old one, the farming one was fun and all that. But I think this one is like the funnest one and the most common now because people just like killing people. And like before, I know like right before this crazy patch of the like where they switched the banning phase and like the picking phase and all that. I know the metagame was kill towers. Towers was everything, and then it took us like our team a good like 2-3 weeks to even get used to the metagame. We were just playing awful, but then we got it through, and I guess this tournament we win in the Gosu Cup kind of showed it that we kind of got a grasp of the metagame, but we don't got it all yet.
Sure enough, sure enough. So we see a lot more action right now as far as like aggressive tri lanes and things along those lines where you're going 3 versus 3, and there's a lot of activity going on both ends, specifically with the carries having to be not just AFK farming, last hitting the creeps, but also contributing a lot to these quick early game skirmishes. Do you feel that's more suited for your skill set, or would you rather just be like 3 versus 1, both people play defensive tri lanes and go for like 30 minutes big items?
I mean, like usually the way the game is, we position ourselves in a way that like if I need like if I'm on a Sven or something that needs to farm like because their hero's like an anti-mage or something, then we'll put me in the safe lane and then I'll get like crazy big or attempt to get crazy big. But usually our main thing is to go for like the 3v3 because we like fighting people. We ain't scared of nothing.
Sure enough, sure enough. Yeah, I assume that in those circumstances you rely a lot on your teammates, your supports to kind of call the little skirmishes when you want to stun, fight, and get active in that role specifically. Do you feel that your teammates do a really good job supporting you under those circumstances?
I mean, we all talk like in the tri lane. Like usually it's Rolo and Derp talking, but we all pitch in a little bit like to know when to go, what we should do. But I think I have some great support players, man. I love my Rolo.
Sure enough, sure enough. So one thing I want to transition towards is a little bit towards the newer players who are having a harder time filling the role that you do, primarily carry. What do you think they should be practicing on? Do you think they should be going, Shadow Fiend, no Necromastery, no items, and just try to last hit as much as possible for the first 10 minutes? Or do you think they should be kind of looking more at the map and looking at where they're positioning and when they need to engage and fight and things like that? What do you think a carry really fundamentally needs to learn to get better at the game?
I mean, to last hitting is like everybody thinks it's like, oh, it's super easy, but like you got to know when to go up to hit a creep, because if not, you have a casualty death, which is could be avoidable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there's usually, I'd say, to learn how to last hit, go play techies in Dota 1 in
Mm-hmm.
like solo mode, and just try to last hit as many creeps as you can, because that hero's like 10 damage. and and then like if you want to learn like in game when you're playing a pub and stuff, I'd say even just stare at your map. Like when you play Dota, just stare at your map, because map awareness is probably the most important thing. To know when to TP to help your teammates, to know when you can get a tower or two because the other team is fighting and they're not going to be able to come back. Stuff like that is stuff you got to learn, but it's easy to learn. Just stare at your map. I think that's the most important part.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different things there. There's multiple factors that contribute to it, but the biggest thing is obviously not dying early. If you're dead, then you're not farming, and of course the gold loss doesn't help that either. So
Yes,
definitely agree with that sentiment there. So you said you prefer the tri-lane versus tri-lane setup. Do you think that it's going to be what takes over with the 6.75 changes, gold bounty, and things like that? Do you think that's really what's going to be? People are going to be looking at 3v3s early on, tri-lane action, to try to get a
Yes,
lot of kills out?
yeah, because I feel like once you get the kills, that's when you take like dominance of the game and you get your map control and all that. And if you're killing supports all game, they're not gonna have that 150, 200 gold to counter ward, D ward, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like the old meta is already phased out, because now they're adding more heroes, more aggressive heroes. Like Sven came out of the woodworks, you know what I mean? And now he's like broken, like he just kills everything in his path, like stuff like that. Like every time they add a hero or they do a change to a hero, the whole I feel like the metagame will change, or they'll just keep on going to the more aggressive style, because I mean, if you got heroes that are always going to fight each other, nobody's going to ever not want to fight each other. Because if you have like a Sven, you got the CK always wants to fight, and he's like in every game. Sven always wants to fight, and he's in every game. Just stuff like TA forces fights like really early once she's level 6. I just feel like the aggressive isn't going to change for a while.
Mm-hmm. But you feel that Fnatic NA is responding appropriately to all these changes and all these shifts in the meta?
Recently, like 2 weeks ago, I would have told you no, but after this weekend, I feel like we got a nice little grasp on it. I can tell you that.
Sure. So where's Fnatic going from here? Are we going to International 2013 or something? Moving up?
I mean, that's obviously everybody's goal. We're trying to do that, but like before we look so far, we want to practice. Right now, we got our eyes set on the defense. I think I saw the group stages. I don't know which one we're in, and I think we're Group C or something, where we had Evil Geniuses, we has Asians, team like that. Like, I mean, we could, like with practice, I feel like we could put up a fight and all that, but right now we got our mindset on that. We don't want to go too far to the international thinking already, but I have no doubt in my mind that we cannot make it to the international. Like, I feel we'll be there as long as we keep putting in as much work as we're putting now, that we'll be sitting in that little soundproof booth. That's what I feel.
Very cool. Very cool. So one thing I want to hit on real quick is Valve's interaction with Dota 2. Obviously, you played Dota 1 underneath Blizzard for a very long time, got into some cool in-house leagues, and just enjoyed that in general. But specifically, Valve's interaction, they've done a lot, added a lot of spectator-type things, tournaments, what have you. What do you think Valve is done right by Dota, and what do you think they could improve on?
Truthfully, I don't think I think the game is perfect. Like I think it's beautiful game. I think the only like everything was per like their transition, like the way the heroes look, their graphics, everything. I mean the engine that it runs on is beautiful. I can tell you that for sure. Like everything I think they did is perfect. The only thing I miss is like how like Warcraft. Like since I played it so much, it felt like home. You know what I mean? Like every time I would log into BattleNet, all that stuff, go into like little chat box, it felt like it's just like something you miss. You know what I mean? I did it for so long, it's something you miss, but I've already transitioned to Dota 2, and I don't. It's not like I don't dislike anything about it.
Sure enough, sure enough. So that's glad that you enjoy the game, and it's going to move on from there once it gets released, hopefully pretty soon. I'm sure there will be a lot more people picking it up and checking out your guys' games, your guys' streams, and see what goes on from there. But yeah, thanks for doing the interview with me. Is there anything you want to close out with a little bit as far as any shout-out specifics to future fans?
No, I mean, shout out to all our sponsors, Fnatic. I mean, My best friend Spider, which got me my computer so I could even play Dota because I was playing on this laptop that I'm using right now and I was awful. Uh, Shout out to Boogaloo because he gave me a CD key or the key, whatever it was, to play Dota. And shout out to my team, I guess. That's about it.
Cool, cool. Well, best of luck to you guys. I'm hoping that you guys will be going uh, to higher straights and moving forward as you progress as a team. And I'm sure you're going to be practicing nonstop as you want to move into the bigger tournaments here, especially with defense group stages and stuff coming up. So, going to be rooting for you guys there. But for those who didn't catch it, again, this is Smurf, the carry player for Fnatic Raid Call's North American team. Myself and BlazeCasting, a Dota 2 caster. You can find me either on this stream here. I have an alternate Twitch stream / BlazeCasting. We also have the Twitters up on the board there. You can just see them underneath our names. And then you have a Facebook, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Facebook.com/SmurfCarry. My manager made it for me, and I have 13 likes. So go like me.
Awesome,
That'd be
awesome.
awesome.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, thanks for doing the interview with me, and catch you later.
Thank you for having me, man. Have a good one.